What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Okay, let's talk about what is happening in the markets today. And I want to be completely real with you. This is a scary market right now. But here's what every great investor knows. Scary markets are where life-changing wealth is built. Warren Buffett didn't get rich buying stocks when everything was calm. He bought when others were running for the exits. So today, I'm giving you my top 10 stocks to buy right now. We're going to cover the macro picture, why the sell-off is actually an opportunity, and then go through each stock, what they do, why analysts love them, and exactly why I think they belong in a long-term portfolio. Let's get into it. First, let's set the stage. The S&P 500 is down about 0.5% today. The Nasdaq is down nearly 0.75%, and the VIX, which is the market's fear gauge, has spiked to 26. That's elevated. That's telling us investors are nervous. Why? Two words: oil shock. Brent crude has surged to $112 a barrel due to escalating conflict in the Middle East. When oil spikes like this, investors immediately start worrying about inflation coming back. And if inflation comes back, central banks might have to raise interest rates again. Higher rates hurt stocks, especially growth stocks. That's the logic. That's why we're seeing red today. Now here's the critical context. The S&P 500 is only down about 3% for the year, and it's sitting roughly 5% below its all-time high. This is not a crash. This is a dip driven by fear, not by a fundamental collapse of the U.S. economy. And here's what I want you to remember throughout this entire video. Some of history's greatest buying opportunities happened in exactly these kinds of fear-driven pullbacks. So let's look at where those opportunities are right now. Number 1, AMZN, Amazon. Let's kick it off with the king of cloud and e-commerce, Amazon. Now here's what's interesting about Amazon in 2026. The company is investing $200 billion in AI-focused data centers this year alone. $200 billion. Investors have been getting cold feet over that number. They see the capex and they panic. But I want you to think about something. Amazon made the exact same kind of massive infrastructure bet in the 2000s when it built out its fulfillment center network. Everyone thought it was insane, overbuilt, too expensive. And then that network became the backbone of modern e-commerce and AWS, which is now the most profitable cloud platform on Earth. Patient investors who held through those doubts were rewarded with a 670% gain over the last decade. The stock is down meaningfully from its highs right now. That is your window. That is your entry point. If you believe in AI, and you should, Amazon is building the plumbing that all of it runs on. Number 2, NFL, Netflix. Stock number 2 is Netflix, and I know, some of you are going to say, Netflix? Really? Yes, really. Here's why. Netflix just reported free cash flow of $9 billion last year. $9 billion! Revenue is growing at 17% year over year. They recently acquired Ben Affleck's AI entertainment startup. They're expanding into live sports, gaming, and physical venues. And they just greenlit a massive K-pop sequel that analysts are projecting will break streaming records. But perhaps most importantly, Netflix recently passed an opportunity to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery, which carries enormous debt. That was a smart, disciplined move. The market rewarded it immediately. The stock is up 2% year to date, while everything else is red. When a stock holds up during a broad market sell-off, that's a quality signal. Netflix has content moat, pricing power, and a global subscriber base that is still growing. This is a core long-term hold. Number 3, BRK.B, Berkshire Hathaway B. If there's one stock built for exactly this kind of uncertain, volatile, inflationary environment, it's Berkshire Hathaway. Warren Buffett's company is sitting on approximately $373 billion in cash and short-term investments. That's almost incomprehensible. What that means in practice is that Berkshire can go shopping when the market panics. They just agreed to buy Occidental Petroleum's OxyChem unit for $9.7 billion, a clear signal that they're deploying capital while others are retreating. Berkshire owns stakes in Apple, Bank of America, Chevron, Coca-Cola, and dozens of other businesses in insurance, railroads, energy, and consumer brands. In stagflation environments, where you have high inflation and slow growth, that diversified mix has historically held its value beautifully. For investors who are nervous about the current macro, adding Berkshire is essentially adding a world-class capital allocator to your team. I'd buy this right now. Number 4 is UAL, United Airlines. And this one might surprise some of you. Airlines got hammered this week because of oil prices. Makes sense. Fuel is their biggest cost. But here's what the market is ignoring. TD Cowen just raised their price target on United to $140. 9 out of the top 10 analysts covering this stock rated a buy or strong buy. At today's price, around $96, that's roughly 45% upside implied by the analyst consensus. And we're talking about a P/E ratio of just 8 times earnings. That is cheap for a company that's benefiting from a robust recovery of corporate travel. Yes, oil is elevated right now, but United hedges its fuel costs. It has strong pricing power, and it can pass some of those costs through via fuel surcharges. The sell-off is an overreaction. For investors with a 12 to 18-month horizon, UAL is one of the most compelling risk-reward setups I see in the market right now. Number 5 is MercadoLibre. Number 5 is one of my personal favorite long-term stories. This is the Amazon and the PayPal of Latin America combined into one company. It operates across 18 countries in the region, covering e-commerce, digital payments, logistics, and lending. Here's the jaw-dropping stat. 47% year-over-year revenue in Q4 2025, not 4.7%, 47%. Despite that, the stock is down 14% this year and is trading near a 5-year low P/E ratio of about 42. The market is scared about emerging market exposure, but Latin America is still massively underpenetrated in e-commerce and digital finance compared to the US or China. MercadoLibre is the company that will capture that growth over the next decade. Current margin compression is a short-term investment phase, the same phase Amazon went through before its earnings started compounding explosively. If you can stomach a little volatility, this is a world-class compounder available at a rare discount. Number 6, CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines. Carnival Cruise Lines at number 6. Look, I understand the reaction here. Oil goes up, cruise stocks get sold. But step back and look at the actual business. Carnival just reported record operating income. Record in this environment. The stock trades at only 12 times trailing earnings for a company that is generating record-level profit. That is a glaring disconnect. Carnival hedges fuel costs, and demand for cruising remains historically strong. There's a waiting list for many sailings this summer. The company has been aggressively paying down its COVID-era debt and has been investing in new, more fuel-efficient ships. Long-term, the cruise industry is a secular growth story as emerging market consumers gain wealth and travel more. At 12 times earnings with record operating income, Carnival is pricing in a catastrophe that isn't happening. Number 7, ONN, On Holding AG. Stock number 7 is On Holding, and yes, I am aware 52 times P/E sounds expensive, but let me put that in context. On Holding posted 30% year-over-year sales in Q4 2025. Their gross margin expanded to 63.9%, which is the highest gross margin in the athletic footwear industry, higher than Nike, higher than Adidas. They target affluent consumers, which gives them pricing power that mass market brands simply don't have. The stock is down 16% year to date, and it now trades at 52 times P/E, which sounds like a lot until you realize its 3-year average P/E has been over 100. This is a growth brand with luxury brand economics. These entry points don't last long. At number 8, BROS, Dutch Bros Coffee. And if you haven't heard of them, you will soon. Dutch Bros is the fastest-growing coffee chain in the United States. They've doubled their store count over the past 4 years to over 1,000 locations, and they have a clear roadmap to 2029 stores by 2029. That is a massive expansion runway. The stock is down 18% year-to-date on fears that economic uncertainty will hurt discretionary consumer spending. But Dutch Bros has a cult-like customer base, their drive-through lines are legendary, and their loyalty app retention is among the best in the restaurant industry. At 50 times PE, it's not cheap by traditional metrics, but for a company growing at this pace with this much white space remaining, the valuation is actually quite reasonable on a growth-adjusted basis. This is the kind of stock you look back on in 5 years and say, I can't believe I had the chance to buy it there. Coming in at number 9, AAPL, Apple. I know Apple is everybody's boring stock, but bear with me. Apple is down about 7% in 2026, mostly because the narrative is that it's falling behind in AI, and there's some truth to that. Early Apple Intelligence features were rolled out more cautiously than competitors. But here's what the bears are missing. Apple's competitive advantage is not just software, it's the iPhone ecosystem itself. 1.5 billion active Apple devices. Customers who buy an iPhone, then an iPad, then an Apple Watch, then subscribe to Apple TV and iCloud and Apple Music. That ecosystem creates switching costs that no AI chatbot can disrupt overnight. Apple generates over $150 billion in free cash flow annually. Berkshire Hathaway remains one of its largest shareholders, and the iPhone 17 cycle, which is expected to heavily feature AI capabilities, could be a significant catalyst in the second half of 2026. At 28x earnings, this is one of the most well-priced large-cap tech stocks available. Number 10, RRC, Range Resources. Rounding out our list at number 10 is Range Resources, and this one is pure macro positioning. Here's the situation. The Iran conflict has created a massive disruption in global LNG, liquefied natural gas. Qatar, which supplies roughly a fifth of the world's LNG, suspended shipments after Iranian drone attacks on its energy infrastructure. Natural gas futures are sitting at $3.57 per million BTU and rising. Range Resources is a U.S.-based natural gas producer that benefits directly from this supply shock. Gimme Credit recently reaffirmed its improving rating on the company. Range has low well costs, strong production growth, and its credit metrics are approaching investment-grade territory. The stock is already up 28% this year, but with the LNG disruption potentially extending for months, there may be significantly more upside ahead. If you want an energy play that's directly tied to the current geopolitical situation, Range Resources is it. All right, let's do a quick recap. We've got 10 stocks spanning multiple sectors: AI infrastructure with Amazon, streaming with Netflix, a defensive fortress in Berkshire, a travel recovery play with United Airlines, a Latin American growth machine in MercadoLibre, leisure with Carnival, premium athletic wear with ONON Holding, coffee growth with Dutch Bros, the Apple AI re-rating story, and an energy macro play with Range Resources. The common thread? Each of these stocks is either down significantly from its highs on temporary, fear-driven selling, or it's a direct beneficiary of the current macro environment. In both cases, you're buying at a more attractive price than you could have just weeks ago. Now, I want to be very clear, and I said this at the top of the video, none of this is financial advice. I'm sharing my own research and perspective. Markets can go down further before they go up. Oil could spike more. There could be unexpected macro developments. No one, not me, not the analysts I referenced, not Warren Buffett, has a crystal ball. What great investors have is a long time horizon, discipline, and the courage to buy when others are fearful. If you want to go deeper on any of these stocks, drop a comment below and I'll do a dedicated deep dive video. Also, if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps get this information in front of more people who need it. Share it with someone you know who's confused about what to do with their money right now. They'll thank you later. I'll see you in the next one. Stay disciplined, stay patient, and remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Take care, everyone.